Pick a number between 1 and 56. Say it aloud, please.
55.
55. Irena, 20 years old, not pretty, dirty clothes, beggar, whore. She wanted money for vodka. She laughed at me in the woods when I could not perform. My knife bought her silence. These people were drifters, whores, beggars, drunks, and thieves, or children whose parents did not care enough to keep them safe. They had no right to laugh at me. When I took their lives from them, I was like an animal, a beast. It was as if I had no control over the killings, as if some supernatural sickness took over my body and drove me to my atrocities. The doctors who studied me claimed my brain was damaged somehow from a trauma to the womb, and that it lowered my threshold of excitement. I cannot deny that I'm often aroused by non-sexual acts of violence and aggression, but I have great difficulty achieving an erection in sexual situations, and I often ejaculate, release my seed, without ever achieving one. And perhaps this trauma was an attempt to rationalize the aberration of my existence. They did not want to believe that a Russian could have committed such crimes. They wanted to believe that serial murder was a disposition uniquely American, a byproduct of the decadent West, a capitalist disease. I remember when I was a boy during the war, and a German bombing raid left a path of dismembered bodies and pools of blood on the streets of my village. When I saw this, I was overcome with fear. But more than fear, a kind of intense sexual excitement, a swelling of the loins. This is by far the strongest memory of my childhood. When I was growing up, my family lived in the Ukraine during Joseph Stalin's genocidal rule, when he forced our people into famine by stealing all our food and the grain we needed to grow it. My older brother, Stepan, died one afternoon during this time, and our neighbors stole his body in the middle of the night and ate him. My parents tried to hide this fact from my sister and I. One day, I found my brother's teeth in a neighbor's waste pit, and I knew what had happened. I was filled with rage and disbelief. My parents had lied worse. They had shown no anger. I realized then that in my world, no one could ever really be trusted, and no one was worthy of love. But I am not asking for your sympathy or your pity. I suppose I am an evil man. That is why I'm in this cage for my trial. It is the first place I have felt safe in 50 years. Choose another number, please.
23.
23. Mishka, 12 years old, slightly retarded. I remember her well. She let me walk beside her on her way home from school. We talked about her friends, and and the way she wore her hair. It was pulled back and held by a small blue bow. She had wanted a white one, but her mother had insisted on the blue. I think I knew her better than her own mother. My crimes began with children. When I was teaching at a mining industry school in the 1970s, I became obsessed with seeing their naked bodies. I used to wait outside the girls' bathrooms, and when no one was looking, I would sneak in and watch the young girls. I always carried chewing gum so I could meet with them afterwards and talk to them without arousing suspicion. To the students at the school, I was a joke. They often laughed at me because I touched myself inside the pockets of my pants without realizing I was doing it. I was supervisor of the dormitories as well, and I often caught 12 and 13-year-old boys and girls together in the beds. It very much disturbed me to see them doing at such an early age what I had not done till I was 30, and could still barely manage. It disgusted me and excited me at the same time. But I was not yet sure what to do about my feelings. Although I believe it was inevitable, I did not begin my perversions until I was 37 years old. I am quite certain I would have started at a far younger age had I lived in America. Your media bombard you with all manner of suggestive and explicit sexual images. Perhaps they do not actually create the killers that they glamorize and glorify. But they do guarantee international exposure to anyone willing to find creative ways to kill. If there is a greater evil in this world than mine, it is in your movies, your television, your newspapers, and your magazines.